All right, we are back this morning. Abby Dees is a civil rights attorney and a new author as well with her new book out entitled Queer Questions, Straight Talk. And Robert Petersen with PFLAG in this morning. Good morning to you both.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. And Abby, let's start one with your book. And one of the main questions you talk about is the communication between the gay and straight communities. And we should know that there's a whole spectrum in between.
Absolutely.
Bisexuality, all kinds of things like that. What do you think is the main communication issue between those kind of different sides out there?
I think the politics in that sense that you either have to be for or against is kind of getting in people's way of just talking and asking questions and just getting to know each other a little bit better. We need to cut each other a little bit of slack to understand where the other one's coming from.
That there's a lot of issues that fall into these issues that you may not be completely supportive of everything, but you can find certain levels of common ground.
Commonality, right? And the way we find commonality is we just start talking to each other and giving each other a little patience and grace. It goes both ways.
And Robert, let's talk about PFLAG and the local organization. Right. You, of course, bringing Abby in. Talk to us actually first about what PFLAG is, I guess.
PFLAG is a peer support group for the parents, families, and friends of gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender family people. We offer support, advocacy, and education for the family.
And one of the other big issues that just came out recently now, Abby, is this discussion now that's going to the governor's desk of whether we should be talking about in our schools people of prominence in the gay community. And that was one of the things I know you talked about, your PFLAG discussion that you guys had yesterday. Where do you stand on that?
I think it's a great thing. It's not about talking about people's sex lives. It's talking about people's emotional lives and their culture and the things that inform the choices they made. If we take that out of California history, if we're sort of avoiding that, we are actually leaving out part of California's story. And
one of the things, though, that the parent is wondering about and thinking about is what exactly is going to be told to my, maybe it's different for a high schooler, but what about the second grader? What are they going to learn, and how do you explain that to a second grader?
Well, there is no requirement in this bill that second graders be taught any of this stuff, and there's a lot of deference left to the schools to make these sorts of decisions. And good teachers and good administrators can make judgment calls about what's the appropriate thing for the right age. Again, we're talking about, people's personal relationships. We're not talking about anything more intimate than that,
And one of the other issues that you bring about in your book as well, and when you're talking about relationships, is how people come out. Different ways that people are coming out. There's a whole debate on if people should be forced out of the closet like politicians. Right. And how do people have that conversation? And it's a very personal conversation for each individual person, right? But how you come out, especially to your parents, perhaps, and your friends?
Yeah, I think for all these conversations, you have to start from a place of mutual respect. If you're starting from a place of arguing and not really caring what the outcome of that argument is, then forget it. But if you are with your loved one, and PFLAG's very much about this, is encouraging just if you start from a place of I love you, I care about you, and I'd like to talk about this stuff, then you could open the door to some of those more sort of loaded questions.
All right, Abby and Robert coming in this morning, we appreciate it. It's a conversation that continues. So,
thank you for having us.
Thank you both for coming in this morning.